We all know about Pennywise and the killer clowns from outer space, but had you ever heard of porcelain? What about the Funny Man? Here are some of the creepiest clown movies you probably haven't seen before. Working for a sex chat company is a difficult enough job already, but 1988's Out of the Dark introduces a new obstacle to the employees of one particular hotline: a killer in a clown mask. Out of the Dark is a pretty standard slasher centering around a madman called Bobo the Clown who's obsessed with sex and sex workers. This solid, low-budget thriller feels like something you'd see on Cinemax on a Tuesday night, but in a good way. It's not overloaded with misdirection or red herrings, but it still keeps audiences guessing who's actually behind that creepy mask up until the dramatic finale. Out of the Dark may not be very popular, but that doesn't mean there aren't plenty of recognizable faces to be found. Karen Black, Tracy Walter, Bud Cort, Cameron Dye, and legendary character actor Jeffrey Lewis all make appearances. Toss in Paul Bartel and a brief appearance by Divine, and you have a movie that's guaranteed to keep you entertained, provided you enjoy gory murder mysteries, naked women, clown masks, low budgets, and actors who are mostly dead now. Not all haunted houses are infested with ghosts. In Funny Man, a record producer has to protect his family from the strange demonic jester that lives in their new home. He may stretch the definition of clown a little, but the titular Funny Man is a creepy goblin who just wants to have a fun time with everyone he meets. Unfortunately, his idea of fun involves all sorts of wacky hijinks. As gory as it can get at times, Funny Man is a comedy first and foremost, thanks to Tim James' unhinged, fourth-wall-breaking performance. There's also an appearance by the legendary Christopher Lee as the haunted house's previous owner.
You're a funny man, Mr. Taylor, but I've met funnier. And so will you.
Funny Man is an extremely British film, with an abundance of jokes that might go over your head if you don't hail from the Isles. There's some odd choices made, like an inexplicable parody of Velma from Scooby-Doo, but it's still an explosive romp that's sure to entertain. A love triangle with plenty of blood, bullets, and face paint, The Last Circus follows Javier the sad clown and Sergio the happy clown as they battle for the affection of a beautiful acrobat. Assault, swordplay, and machine guns might all seem out of place in a circus movie, but The Greatest Showman this is not. Set primarily in Spain during the year 1973, The Last Circus focuses on the men behind the white makeup and the inner struggles they deal with as entertainers. The clowns here come across as much more human than the others on this list, but that doesn't make them any less monstrous. Writer-director Alex de la Iglesia expertly balances the happy with the sad in this Spanish-language film. The Last Circus blends drama and horror with pitch-black comedy, making for a real roller coaster of a viewing experience. What's worse than being hunted by a killer clown? Becoming a killer clown. 2014's Clown follows a father who puts on an old costume for his son's birthday, only to discover that it's impossible to take off, and that it's changing him from within. Don't let Eli Roth's producer credit scare you away from Clown. The Hostel director came aboard mostly as a marketable name. No, this is John Watts' baby. The very same John Watts who directed all 3 Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. Watts' debut feature is certainly different from his efforts in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but that doesn't mean it's not worth your time. Clown combines body horror with family strife as Kent McCoy transforms from a mild-mannered real estate agent to a child-eating monster. As the metamorphosis continues and the bodies start to pile up, Kent's wife and son have to see if they can rescue him from himself.
No matter what I say, you don't let me out.
Without a doubt, the most exciting part of the movie is the extended sequence set in a Chuck E. Cheese arcade and play place. There's so much bloody havoc in the fun zone, it makes you wonder if anyone at Chuck E. Cheese actually signed off on it. Found footage plot devices are definitely overdone in horror movies, but they can be extremely frightening when they're done right. One movie that definitely does it right is The House's October Build, which follows a group of friends documenting their search for the scariest haunted house in America. Unfortunately for them, they find exactly what they're looking for. There's all sorts of creeps in The House's October Build, but none are creepier than the clowns. The most memorable monster in the movie is Porcelain, a girl dressed like a clown doll who seems to follow the protagonists as they venture from haunt to haunt. While it looks at first like she's a paid scare actor, her later appearances bring her true motives into question. Whatever she's up to, it seems to have something to do with the mysterious collective known as Blue Skeleton. If you're a fan of The House's October Build, be sure to check out its sequel, which features the group of friends from the original hitting the road once again to try and uncover the truth. The Funhouse Massacre is exactly what it sounds like. A group of violent, mentally disturbed patients escape their institution and set up shop at a local Halloween funhouse. A massacre ensues. This is a fun little flick for horror fans that manages more than a few thrills and giggles as 6 escaped inmates go to town on an unsuspecting populace. Our bloodthirsty madmen and women pick off visitors to the funhouse one by one until a spunky band of survivors fight to stay alive. It's a bloody movie that manages lots of brutal deaths without ever feeling too grim or stressful. One of the highlights of the Funhouse Massacre is the cast, which features a few familiar faces on the side of evil. Robert Englund pops in as the warden of the asylum, and he's right at home in the campy role. Meanwhile, Clint Howard and Jerry Burns play 2 of the 6 featured psychopaths, bringing as much personality and charisma as they can to characters called the Taxidermist and Mental Manny. Even the less familiar faces engage in plenty of mayhem, from a deranged dentist to several clowned-up wackos who smile as they tear flesh and break bones. If you're a fan of the works of Rob Zombie, you'll probably get some chaotic enjoyment out of this one. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more SlashFilm videos about your favorite movies are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.